there, this is a video for Colleen of No Other Book Like This on Instagram. Show her how to tip a plate back in. So this plate is not completely removed, but for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to pull it apart. I'll show you. Okay, this plate is nearly detached. I'm just going to gently tug on that, get it removed the rest of the way. So there are several things to be aware of when you're putting a plate back into a book. One is that there's a lot of old glue attached both to the plate and to the book, depending, and so you have to check on that. And it's actually beneficial if you can remove it, because the old glue is acidic. You can use the book repair knife that comes out of the kit that I sell, which is handy because it has this flat side and makes it really easy to just clean off the edges of this. You can see the old glue coming up there. Just a little bit of scraping. Alright, check the back side. I can see there's a little more to remove. And on the book itself, there's just a little bit right there. I'm just going to get that off of there. Otherwise it looks pretty clean. The next thing you need is something to attach it with. Now you can just glue that back in, but this plate was attached on the top side, on the recto side of the page. And while you could glue that back in, the way it originally was, it won't open fully. And so we're going to just keep that in mind, and instead we're going to attach it with a hinge. We're going to use some sakishu. This is a Japanese tissue, and you can just cut a strip of it that is longer than the actual plate and only about 1/4 of an inch wide. And in order to get the width, you can fold it. There we go. That's approximately 1/4 of an inch. That'd be 5/16, half an inch. And one way to make that cut is to lick the edge and then just tear it. You can also use a cutting mat, whatever you prefer. Notice that I have the book propped open. It's best to just keep books not fully open unless you have to. Using some waste paper, you want to have your side that has already been glued. That's the side you want to glue again. This is a rice starch paste, nori. And I also want to glue the edge of this Japanese tissue. I'm going to do that right here while I'm at it. Before I rub that down, I actually want to have it on top of some wax paper. Okay, and then more wax paper to rub through, because if you rub directly on it, it might move. And then we need to dry it with a hair dryer. After you've dried it with a hair dryer, you can rub it down with some wax paper to make sure that the paste doesn't come through and stick to any of the pages. After that, you want to trim. And then you can check again and determine if the amount of tissue that's coming off the edge is what you want, or if it's too much. You can decide whether or not to attach it to the recto or the verso side I always prefer to do it on the recto side so that it really just opens up very nicely. And here it doesn't have any paste on it yet. I'm just kind of lining it up, seeing how that is in place, and then double checking how much tissue is sticking out. I definitely want to make sure that it's not going to cover anything here. And we're just using paste, so very nice and archival. So here we go again. Just get this so I can paste it out. Oh, yes. Make sure you're pasting the right side, which would be this side. This just makes this completely reversible so that if you do it crooked or something, it can be redone very easily. Then just place it back in place. If the paste touches the page where you didn't want it to, you have to be aware of that and make sure you don't rub down the plate on top of that. Once you have it kind of in place, put some wax paper in there. I just noticed this was popping up a little bit. Might need a little more paste. Then the wax paper, bring it back down and only line it up to the page right below it. Don't, be looking at the other pages in case anything's crooked. All right, then rub it down with the wax paper. Do that, and at this point you could just close the book and let it dry, or if you are wanting to move things along faster, you could again use the hair dryer. After it's completely dry, once again, just to make sure that no paste is going to be, reattaching itself, rub it down with a little bit of wax paper. And close the book, make sure everything is lined up. For more information about page repair or book repair, go to saveyourbooks.com. That's it. Thanks for watching.